Hello everybody and welcome here to this live stream of Thursday 17th of August 2017 in case you watch this video much later as a regular upload, which the live streams of YouTube do. So tonight I'm going to record together with you the prelude and fugue in E flat minor of J.S.Bach, book 1 of the w.a.mozart clavier. So, and as usual, I'm going to welcome some of you already in the chat, give YouTube a little bit time for the notification, then do the recording and have a chat afterwards with you. Anya is as always on the chat, so she'll be talking to you as you have questions. And if I miss something throughout the recording that I should address or she feels I should address, she will notify me at the end of the recording. So in case you're new here to Authentic Sound and this is your first video or first live stream, so welcome here. My name is Wim Winters and this channel is all about sharing the beauty of the music from Bach to Beethoven, and we are exploring that music in different ways through performances, diving into the context, diving into the notation with technical matters as well, and hopefully to inspire you as a musician or as a listener. So that's hopefully something we're going to do tonight. The E flat minor is a brilliant piece actually, and it's one of those pieces I get always excited from that particular prelude and fugue, certainly the prelude, because it is of course written in a style that for that time is remarkable, and it contains so many elements of European music, so to say, and Bach is making something really new out of it. And pieces like this, they opened the way for the whole 18th century, what came next. And typically for this piece, you can set your bar of expectations as a player. That's at least my experience on certain levels. Because it's a kind of tricky piece as well. It's a slow sarabande, and if the movement is right, if you're in a good mood, if the instrument works with you, you can do amazing things. But if it doesn't, and it's just 1% off, then the piece falls apart in 1,000 pieces, which isn't nice. But for tonight, I plan to give it 100%, because if it really works 100%, this becomes an amazing piece of music. It's all about the timing. It's all about waiting for that moment and just before it breaks. So hopefully that works. Oh, I know.
I just bring you some tea. I'm not gonna eat you.
So that's 2% less for the. It's okay.
It's better now?
Yeah, if you stay with me so close, it's better. So.
I can chat when I'm here, but then you say I make too much noise.
Yeah, I'm just typing really hard. So, thank you for the tea.
Okay,
yeah.
It's hot.
Next time I can call you.
You can't call, the phones are off.
No, that's true. But that's a sign that I'm concentrated and focused. So that's something I'm going to do. I'm looking forward to that. So if it fails, then I think you will forgive me. I hope so. Might be that I will repeat myself a little bit while playing. If it doesn't fit, I continue a little bit. I break the recording and I start all over again. It's a wonderful world of recording. On a concert, of course, there's one shot. We as musicians actually are poor people, because even the tennis players who make 1 trillion times more money than we, they have 2 serves, and as you play a concert you only have 1, and that's actually also okay, but it's a different kind of tension, a different kind of concentration, that's a better word, a different kind of focus on a concert than on a recording. On a recording you can get rid of everything that's called a risk, so to say, because if you have a live audience in a concert and not for a recording session, because you actually are also a live audience, then yeah, that's a different kind of approach. And I really like making recordings. I like playing in public as well, but I wouldn't miss making recordings for whatever in the world. So I'm going to say quick hello to you, then turn off my cell phone. Actually going to use that for controlling this camera, and then we're going to start. So John, I hope you have a good time with your sandwich and peanut butter. Yeah, so John is one of my students, so to say, through Patreons. If you've never heard of that, Patreon is a website where people supporting me. It's a wonderful feeling that there are more than 30 people now supporting the projects that we for Authentic Sound are doing. And John is, you have different reward levels or tiers, and John is a student that we had. Indeed, I was really happy with the lesson as well. Alexi, welcome. Nikos, great to have you. And thank you for sending in all of you who participate in testing out the basic keyboard or the course on basic keyboard techniques. The wonderful thing. We might do something in September together with, for those of you who not know what I'm talking about, I've created a course on basic keyboard techniques, which is not teaching you the basic elements where the notes are, but the basic techniques you should master as a beginner, wherever you are in the line of experience, that you should master, I think, to make your practice time less, and I would call it, I said, boost your confidence on stage, but I believe that's doing it. And several of people who have been so nice to test it are here, and we are going to promote this a little bit in September, and maybe with a video call with people who are wanting to participate in a live session on YouTube, so where you could give as a tester for that, from that course, actually your experience. Just thinking about it. Marcos, hello. And Jean Bolsonaro, thank you for being here. Mikael, good to have you, Mikael. Also one of my patrons. Well, first actually, first day. And Kostas is here. So with Kostas, we are heading to a great project. Kostas, in case you doubt, your 100 pages of 6 easy sonatas are here. I'm going through them. We're going to publish them in real print, actually, which is exciting. A little bit big project before the launch of the partitas, even on vinyl box. But Kostas' music deserves to be out, and so the best print is for his music, and it will be the first score, if that goes a little bit well, for his whole oeuvre, which is quite impressive. And we're going to do other things as well. But anyway, Mohamed, great to have you back here. So I wish you a good time in the chat with Anya and with each other. I know you know each other, you get to know each other, which is great. It's a kind of community within the live streams. And then I'm going to focus on that E flat minor prelude and fugue, and afterwards we talk again. So, hope you have a good time. So Anya is coming now to switch on that camera, and then this camera here, the black one, but you can't see it, is actually focused on my hand. So that's the last time actually we're going to use that, because next time we're going to have other visuals. And we're going to upgrade the channel, talk about that with you, or change the focus a little bit. Okay. I connect now. You can see what I'm doing. I hope you can see it. It's actually amazing. These new cameras, you can control them through Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi, and now I must be careful. It's this one. Hope you can see this. And now there should be a sign that the camera is ready. It says a moment. Of course it doesn't. There you have it, then the remote control. The sound you hear is the lens popping out. That's a focus. And there you have it. That's the main image for the recording. So that's very practical if you are not CNN or other major television brand, to operate that yourself. And actually I shouldn't forget to press record. There you go. So let's drink a little bit of the tea that Anya brought me. Yeah, we start. One last thing before I start. I was practicing today, and tonight the children are upstairs, and I opened my clavichord 20 minutes before the live stream, and clavichords have the name of sounding soft, which of course compared to other instruments is a fact, but if it is evening and everything silence down, then I got a shock how loud the clavichord sounded compared to this afternoon. So I really had to adjust my touch for this. Let's see how she behaves, because I think it's a she. That's okay, I think. Hope you like that. I just had to repeat the beginning because there was a tractor. It's getting to September and then there are more tractors here. It's very agriculture here, so. And that's something you hear on the recording. Anya?
Do you have to switch now?
Yeah, please. So I'm just going to switch the second camera. The fugue I could play in 2 or 3 ways, but I will choose one that for now I feel okay with.
This was very beautiful.
More in the live masterclass. There's a lot to be said on the fugue. Thank you. No tea from behind me.
No, I'm fond of you. Can I settle?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Running. There we go.
Okay.
So I'm not disappearing, just for a few seconds. Okay. That's for the credit roll for the patrons who help support and make this possible. I believe that was it. The reason why I had this concentration gap at the end of fugue, I was thinking, what? No, I will not literally say what I was thinking. But I was not so well thinking of Bach. Writing a piece like this is really exceptionally difficult. And then in this key, in this Dover edition, which is the first Bach-Gesellschaft Ausgabe, it's in D sharp minor. I've always played it like that. But you cannot miss one single second of your concentration, because it remains so weird reading those notes and playing them, almost all of them, one half step higher. I'm just going
I don't want to scare you, but I stop the tape now.
You can stop the tape and stop the camera.
Okay. I scare you next time also. I think you play well if you are scared.
No, don't. Okay. So that was it for Bach. I hope I have every note. And so just missing one note is enough to completely slip off. Not completely, but it's difficult to adjust. It's not on purpose that I have only one piece to record now this evening. The other sessions we had 2 preludes and fugues, but I'm happy because this is a concentration drainer. Is that correct? Okay. Then now if you have played this piece, let me know. And you know, it is so different. Well, now I'm doing something wrong. So different practicing it and then playing it in the performance or recording. So this will be the last piece, 29th of August. If you have not heard of that, I forgot to mention that. 29th of August, I'm going to play one temperate clavier, so prelude and fugue number 1, up to this one, here in the chapel, the 16th century chapel that you have seen me probably make videos of, in front of or inside. And we're going to live stream that. So it will be for a live audience, and we're going to live stream that at the same time. Using the same equipment as we have today for this live stream, only my phone will serve as a hotspot for the mobile stream. We tested it, it worked, so probably it won't work that night, but we'll see. We take the risk. It's at 8 PM Central European Summertime, so it's earlier than you're used. But I will make an event on YouTube, so you can set a reminder for that. I'm switching off this camera as well. It's turned off, it's switched off but not turned off. Okay. So, let's see what you have written while I was working so hard. Going back. John, Mohammed, Philip Daniel. Great to have you. Hope you liked it. Well, there has been a lot in the chat here. And actually, I'm not able to go back to the beginning. So Anya, if I have missed something, you would help me a great deal. Just coming and sit here and...
I don't think there are any real questions.
Okay.
Just comments or chatting.
I can't go back to the beginning. That's stupid, but anyway. So Philip Daniel, just reading your chat now, guys. Not that I'm reading everything. Okay. Philip is talking about his own work, great. Yeah. So you're talking about YouTube channels and yeah, I know a lot about that and frustration about it as well. Actually, I'm going to make a course of this because I've given so much of my time in understanding this, how this platform works, and not that you can force it. I mean, there are some principles, good practices that you can apply, having a YouTube channel as a musician or as a composer. But it takes a lot of time to understand the way YouTube wants you to perform and wants you to think, and even then it's no guarantee for millions of subscribers, as you see on my channel. And the unsub bug has hurt us really a lot. If you can, if you see, for instance, Emily's channel, she is doing better than my channel now, which is great. I mean, all the best for everyone. But partly it's becoming of this unsub bug, which is totally denied by YouTube, and I can understand that. Imagine that I would say that they didn't control something, but some channels that complain about it really also going in the millions of subscribers. You should see them. It's in the reds. We have not been hurt so much, but 50% of our subscribers, so 50% compared to the people who subscribe to the channel were unsubscribed. So we lost over the last 4-5 months 50% of all the subs each month. So that's, of course, we are too small as a channel to cover that, to make up for that. It's changing now, so I hope it's for the best. And it's nothing you can do, but the audience growth and how YouTube in general works, how you present yourself on other social platforms, which we are not doing. We would love to go on Instagram, but that's so much work. And we only 2 of us. All of that, I think that those experiences specifically targeted for musicians, I think that I could make a very good course out of this, because there are a lot of do's and don'ts, and yeah, why should someone else make same mistakes as I did in the past? So that's not for next month, but definitely for the next year, and maybe a little bit earlier as well. So now the whole chat has again disappeared. Ayan Koster, great. My mother is also here. Great. Thank you, Mike. This is gorgeous, he writes. Philip writes, this prelude is the perfect marriage of Mare Mare, Vivaldi slow movements, and the German style Stilus Fantasticus. Yeah. Well, I don't know if this is the Stilus Fantasticus, because that's something you find with Buxtehude and the early Bach stoccatas. I understand why you say this, though. I feel this more like what Bach would do in the partitas with his sarabandas there, and this is so much the Stilus Fantasticus, where you had this incredible virtuosic beginnings, like in the Buxtehudes, Weckmann, Franz Thunder, that is late 17th century organ music, clavier music as well. But you know that, of course, I know that mainly through the organ music. That's kind of heroic, that's kind of statement making. It's beginning, it's mostly the beginning, it's the opening. But here it's so intimate. And I cannot think of one piece of Buxtehude with this kind of, it's a kind of emotion of affect that's so vulnerable, so intimate, so precisely written about, so precisely targeted. So for me, this is opening to the way to the gallant music. So it's no surprise that Immanuel Bach was so history changing in this way, and also Friedemann Bach, who wrote way too little. He might have been a second J.S.Bach. If not, Immanuel Bach was very close to that as well. He's underestimated. So John writes, Bach was very influenced by his contemporaries. Yeah, that he did. He was very influenced by his contemporaries, and he absorbed every style that he could get his fingers on. And in that he reminds us, of course, to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, who did the same thing. Mozart, of course, traveled a lot more than Bach, way more. It was another time. But he also writes in a letter that For a true genius, you need to travel, you need to absorb other styles, because he, as a genius, he wrote it about in those words, he was able to absorb it and to make use of all those styles, which he actually did. Okay, thank you, Mohammed. The right tempo. Well, we're going to talk about tempo in the masterclass, so also for the prelude. But the fugue, I've played it also a lot slower, and that's so beautiful. But imagine what the concentration you need to keep this movement going. But now you have a kind of movement that's nice, you feel the structure, I think, in this tempo. Slowing down connects it more to the mood and the effect of the prelude. For the beginning, that's really nice. I'm not going to do it. We're going to talk about it in the masterclass. But then somewhere in the middle of the piece, it's difficult to keep that tension. But maybe when I'm 10 years older from now.
At the end, there are a few questions.
Okay, I'm going to skip to the end then. Right, so. Yeah, so Philip asks, does your organ technique ever prove handy for clavicle performance? I was thinking more the relative, okay. The relative harmonic, yeah, let's start with your second question or idea or suggestion. I was thinking more on the relative harmonic freedom of the Stilus Fantasticus manifesting in this prelude. Yeah, but I feel this as a kind of slow sarabande. And what you have then is, at least, so there's and then I was talking about in the beginning of, you have this line where you go very close to, and when you cross that, it breaks in pieces. So there's this movement of you start with the first beat, and then it bounces back to the second beat, and you let the second beat bounce a little bit more, and as long as you feel that it is an energy wave just coming on this high point and going back, then it's no problem. And then you can go very slow. The question is if this is free. And I don't think it is. Because Stilus Fantasticus, yeah, also there you have two kind of schools. You have the Harald Vogel school, quote unquote, who plays this really, really free, Stilus Fantasticus, the beginnings of those preludes and fugue. But for instance, like my teacher Jacques van Nootmans was really strict about it. He says Stilus Fantasticus is not about playing free, is the style is free. That's of course something, but in either way, you have to feel a kind of pulse, because otherwise you're lost as a listener. Here it's, I think, very strict, but that's just how I feel it. Okay, you point to some, I don't know those pieces. So Buxus's Klaaglied and Membra Jesu Nostri have similar moments in my opinion. That I'm going to check, because that interests me a lot. Since of course, yeah, Bach was influenced really a lot by Buxtehude. And Buxtehude was ahead of his time. I think only on the keys that the keys that he used in his music, like for instance the F sharp minor prelude and fugue, that's unbelievable what chords he's using there in the middle section. So, does your organ technique ever prove handy for clavichord performance? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not playing the organ so much, and the history I have with the clavichord is very unnormal, because I played the organ in conservatory, a little bit also of harpsichord actually, but not too much. Back in the 90s, clavichord was not taught at conservatories, at least I don't know, maybe in Gothenburg with the organ project. Joseph Piestra was already doing great things there with clavichords. And then I was in the piano class. So when I finished my studies, I played a lot of them on the Girard piano. And then I came at Joris Potlieg's workshop in 2008 to prepare for an organ project, because Joris is, by the way, it's his birthday today, it's becoming 50. So I was preparing for an organ project where he would be one of the organ builders. and there was a clavichord, and so he invited me to play, but I was very afraid because, hey, clavichord has a name of being difficult, which it is. But eventually I played on the instrument, and it was a match from the first moment. So I don't know. I had an exceptionally well teacher in Jacques van Nootmes. He died 2 years ago, age 65, way too young. And Jacques had a technique that I've never seen before. You have some remarkable players, and I'm not talking about, the Arthur Rubinstein techniques, as a pianist, or the Richter technique, or the Glenn Gould technique. I mean, he had such a precise technique on the organ, both in his hands and his feet. One of the last concerts he played, I was happy to be his assistant here nearby. Actually, it was the last time I met him. It was a very nice evening, 1 month before he died. And I was supposed to play that concert at night, but they contacted me a year before, and I said, no, it doesn't fit in my schedule. I have to play pedal, which of course I can, but I have to practice then. And so called Jacques and asked if he doesn't want to play the concert, which he did. He accepted, so he was here. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't have seen him that evening anymore. We had a wonderful conversation. It was the 3rd of October 2015. And then he played a concert on this 19th century organ. It was totally undesigned for Bach. The pedal keyboard totally out of any normal shape, and he played with such an ease. And no mistake, you could have made a CD recording from that. And there was not something that he practiced on, but this technique was so well formed. What I'm talking in this course also, it's all happening here. I learned that from him. I learned to make the releases, to play relaxed, to everything, that I'm still doing, and learned from him. And I think that's the key for me, for the clavichord. So when we're going to publish the final discs for the partitas, it will be dedicated to him. There's no other solution, because I wouldn't have been able to manage that. I wouldn't be playing Beethoven of all music on my clavichord if I hadn't been his student for 8 years. So, getting emotional here. He became a good friend, actually, and 65, he just retired in Amsterdam. Before that, we had contact, and regular, but not too much. But on certain moments, and those such relationships that you have a few of in your life, that you can for months not hear anymore from each other, and then you connect, and instantly you are on the same wave. But here he was opening he had a lot of time, so we would have been making recordings together, also with the piano that's coming. So transcriptions of symphonies. He was very much into this tempo research, which he was promoting that I would do a lot. He was a great pianist as well. But of course that will not happen anymore. So we miss that. Okay. Oh, and yes, thanking the patrons. Wonderful that you're watching. Yeah. So Saturday we have a video call with the patrons. If you would like to participate, still there's no problem. There is a description and link in the description box. And literally for a cup of coffee a month, you can support the things we're doing. Because imagine, that's the great thing of social media. The numbers are not so important anymore, because you have a worldwide coverage, but that's of course theoretical. But we are at 4,200 now on Authentic Sound. We have over 30,000 views a month, which is in YouTube land really small, but for a niche channel as ours, not bad. So with very little contributions, actually, we could step forward. And the patrons call, I'm looking forward to that every month. Okay. If there's nothing more on your mind, then I would like to thank you all for watching this live stream with me. Again, I repeat it every time. I know it's boring, but I say it anyways. you bring out the best in me as a musician. The focus I get since we're live streaming these recordings for YouTube is way more than you not being here. So it's weird, it sounds strange, but you're of course not physically here, but I can kind of feel your presence here. So, and I like that very much, and I'm very grateful for that as well. So thank you all, and I wish you a very good night or day, depending on the place of this planet where you live, and hope to see you soon again. I will be in the live stream of not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that. We have a masterclass, and then the Tuesday the 29th. Write it in big letters in your agenda at 8 p.m. Central European Summer Time. That's 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so New York time. And then I'm going to play 1 to 8 prelude and fugues for you in this historical setting on my clavichord with a live audience. It would be great if you could join us then, and Anya will be in the chat as well. Then we don't change that. That would be a stupid decision perhaps. So thank you everybody, and see you next time. Okay, bye.